The journey into Zamfara state is a true test of endurance. The tarmac, where it exists, is a fractured ribbon of black, scarred by sun and rain. Every bump and pothole jolts you as the vehicle lurches forward. Dust is everywhere, a fine red powder that seeps into your clothes, hair and throat. The landscape glows in ochre light, the horizon shimmering in the heat. This is northern Nigeria, raw, untamed and demanding respect. Giant baobab trees and rocky outcrops stand as ancient sentinels beneath an immense blue sky. Here, nature is in charge and you feel your own smallness. Surviving isn't just about water, it's about understanding the land's rhythm. The markets are a different, wild, chaotic, vibrant, alive with the scent of spices and roasting meat. Voices in Hausa and other dialects rise above the crowd as traders hawk their wares. Pyramids of peppers, sacks of grain and shimmering fabrics create a sensory overload. People from all walks of life converge, sharing news, stories and laughter. It's the beating heart of the region, full of energy and resilience. The people are tough, shaped by the land, but their warmth and hospitality are remarkable. A simple greeting, Sanu, can open doors and build bridges. In this challenging landscape you find extraordinary people living lives that defy modern conventions. On the outskirts of a dusty market town I first saw them. The crowd parted with a mix of reverence and curiosity. A group of men walked with confidence, leading creatures straight out of folklore. A huge spotted hyena, muzzled and chained, loped beside one man, its size and power undeniable. Another man carried a python draped over his shoulders, its skin gleaming in the sun. Two baboons on leashes chattered and scanned the crowd. The men wore a mix of traditional robes and worn-out clothes, faces etched by a hard life. There was an aura about them, part showman, part shaman. People watched in awe and apprehension. Children pointed, elders nodded knowingly. The hyena men moved with purpose, focused on their animals. It felt like a living legend walking through the modern world. I was hooked. Who were these men? And how did they command such respect from these wild creatures? They were more than animal handlers. They were a mystery wrapped in the dust and heat of Zamfara. This encounter was the beginning of my journey to understand the Hyena Men of Nigeria. Unmasking the Gadawan Kura. Known locally as the Gadawan Kura, hyena handlers, they are more than performers. They are a tight-knit group of itinerant showmen, herbalists, and spiritual guardians. Their lineage is a tapestry of ethnic groups, united by a profound bond with animals. For them, this is a sacred calling, inherited from their ancestors. Their origins are shrouded in legend. Some say their ancestors made pacts with spirits or learned to communicate with hyenas. Their skills go beyond training. They possess a deep, almost supernatural understanding of animal behavior. The Gadawan Kura are nomads, traveling with families and animals, setting up camps on the outskirts of towns. They entertain with their animals and sell herbal remedies, their knowledge of bush medicine as impressive as their animal command. Their society is built on hierarchy and family loyalty, with skills passed down through generations. Only after years of apprenticeship does a young handler earn the right to work with hyenas and snakes. Life on the road for the hyena men is a constant test of resilience. They travel light, carrying only essentials for their craft and families. Their homes are makeshift shelters, offering little protection from the elements. Days begin before sunrise, tending to animals whose welfare is vital to survival. Hyenas are fed and chained, monkeys groomed, snakes inspected. Women manage the camp and care for children. Everyone has a role. Abdullahi, a handler, recalls being stranded for weeks in the rainy season, foraging for roots and relying on bush knowledge to survive. Their life is lived on the edge, but hardship forges a strong community. They share food, money, and burdens. When one family struggles, others help. Evenings are spent around the fire, sharing stories and teaching the next generation. Their culture survives not in books, but in shared experience and oral tradition. This is how the spirit of the Gadawan Kura endures. The relationship between the Gadawan Kura and their animals is complex and sacred. The hyena, or Kura, is central, feared in many cultures, but here a symbol of power and connection to the wild. They believe in an ancestral pact with the hyena spirit, allowing them to train these predators. Hyenas are raised from youth, forging a bond of dominance, respect, and strange affection. Snakes, pythons, and cobras are handled with skill, the men using herbal concoctions believed to protect against venom. Whether science or belief, their calm with dangerous snakes is remarkable. Snakes represent mastery over hidden dangers, a key part of their performances. Monkeys, usually baboons, are the entertainers, dressed in colorful outfits, performing tricks, and collecting money. The handlers understand their social behaviors, treating them like mischievous children. This trio, hyena, snake, monkey, forms the core of their identity. The hyena is raw power, the snake mastery over death, the monkey the playful bridge to humanity. Losing this bond would mean losing a part of their soul. It is a sacred connection passed down for centuries. The hyena men are more than entertainers, they are guardians of ancient knowledge. In rural communities they are respected herbalists, with deep knowledge of local plants and remedies. Their spiritual authority comes from taming the feared hyena, seen as proof of power over the supernatural. Villagers seek them for healing, protection, and blessings. The hyena men perform rituals, chant incantations, and prepare amulets, acting as intermediaries between worlds. Their performances, placing heads in hyena jaws or handling venomous snakes, are seen as demonstrations of faith and divine protection. For audiences, it's a visceral reminder that ancient magic still exists. This belief system brings comfort and order to a chaotic world. But the role is a heavy burden. Any failure can mean loss of respect and livelihood. A handler whose hyena escapes is seen as having lost his spiritual power, often leading to exile. Their survival depends on upholding this powerful legacy. They are living symbols of a mystical past. To outsiders, the hyena men are a paradox, evoking fear and fascination. The sight of a chained hyena in a market unsettles modern sensibilities about wild animals. Quick judgments label them as cruel, missing the deep cultural context. Yet fascination grows. Their courage, connection with animals, and nomadic freedom are legendary. They become subjects of documentaries and photo essays, symbols of a wild Africa. But this fascination can lead to misunderstanding and exploitation, romanticizing their lives while ignoring hardship. Outsiders may try to save them, imposing values without understanding complexities. Such interference can disrupt traditions and push them further to the margins. The hyena men reflect our own fears and fantasies about the wild. True understanding requires listening to their stories and respecting their worldview. Only then can we see them as resilient people with a rich heritage. The world of the hyena men is shrinking. Modernization threatens their ancient way of life, wild spaces are disappearing and markets are replaced by supermarkets. Old beliefs that gave them spiritual authority are eroding. The younger generation faces a choice: the uncertain life of a nomad or the allure of city comforts. Many leave for cities, creating a crisis of succession. Ancient skills risk being lost. Animal rights laws and government regulations add pressure, often ignoring the Gadawan Kura's realities. For them, animals are livelihood and identity, not just wild creatures. New laws could outlaw their way of life, pushing them into poverty. They are caught between tradition and modern ethics, rarely heard in the debate. Despite challenges, the hyena men adapt. Some modernize acts, others focus on herbal medicine. Their struggle is constant, fighting poverty, environmental change, and cultural assimilation. Their story is a warning of how globalization can erase unique cultures. The survival of the Gadawan Kura depends on finding space for their traditions in a changing world. The story of the hyena men is a lesson in perspective. It challenges us to look beyond our own realities and confront a way of life both harsh and beautiful. Their world is not about good or evil, but survival, tradition, and a mystical bond with nature. Respecting cultures like theirs means acknowledging their right to exist. The Gadawan Kura remind us of humanity's diversity and the value of other ways of living. Losing their culture would mean losing a vibrant thread in humanity's tapestry. Understanding builds bridges. When we listen to their stories, we move from observers to engaged humans. Empathy is the first step to coexistence, allowing us to appreciate our shared humanity. The hyena men are more than performers, they are symbols of resilience and the enduring human spirit. As the modern world expands, we must fight to ensure their story, and their right to tell it, survives.